Welcome back everyone to another episode of Tyler's Fishing Post, and in today's video we are going to be doing a Googan Squad Mondo Box BIGGUNS XL challenge. That was a lot of words. It's supposed to catch BIGGUNS, so we're going to put this box to the test today and see if it can actually catch BIGGUNS. But just so you know, this is the BIGGUNS XL box, okay? So they have a normal BIGGUNS box, which is this right here. I saw this and I saw the XL, and I was like, you know what? Let me get both of them. I'm actually going to do a video on this box later. Let me know down in the comments if you'd like to see that video. I'm gonna be doing a mystery tackle box versus the Googan Squad Mondo BIGGUNS box by Catchco and Googan Squad. Whatever, there's a lot of Googan baits in these boxes. We're gonna be unboxing this box right here, going through each and every one of the baits and kind of like dissecting it to see, okay, are these gonna catch BIGGUNS? I mean, we're gonna put it to the test, but like we're gonna go through, look at all the baits that we got in the box, see what's in there, see if there's some good stuff. We'll have to see. Like, I'm kind of curious. I hope there's some good baits in here to catch some big bass. We are on a lake that is super clean water, loaded with hydrilla. We'll have to see. This is like, you would want as many soft plastics as possible in this box to fish this lake. There are some areas where there's not as much hydrilla, but like pretty much this whole lake is filled with hydrilla. So consider subscribing if you enjoy videos just like this. I'd appreciate that so much. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and with that being said, let's jump into the unboxing of this box. Alrighty y'all, boom, we have the box all ready to go. Let's go through the baits. Let's pick out the first bait. I'm gonna open this up. Okay, not gonna look. I'm gonna randomly pick a bait. Oh, dang, look at that. We got bandito bugs. Let's go. That is perfect for this lake. Baby blue, I'm sorry, blue baby. It's normally called baby blue, but it's blue baby bandito bugs. It's the mini, it's the junior version. It's the junior version of bandito bugs, which is interesting because this is a BIGGUNS box and you would think bigger baits are gonna catch bigger fish. But hey, we got junior bandito bugs. Check that out. First bait, okay, I'm happy with that. Let's see, what are we gonna pick? What are we gonna pick? Oh, okay, we got a Googan Squad thick flippin' jig. This is gonna catch fish. This is absolutely gonna catch fish out here. We're gonna have to be doing some flipping. There's like reeds, there's a lot of cover out here. This is actually gonna be perfect. There's super thick hydrilla. This isn't gonna be as good for hydrilla. There is a weed guard on there, as you can see. There is a little weed guard, so that actually might be good. We can't really flip it into super heavy hydrilla, however, but we should be able to flip it around docks, reeds. You know, we might be able to swim this. It is a 1/2 ounce flippin' jig. So it's mainly gonna be flipping. If we can swim this and get away with catching some fish swimming this bait, that would be awesome. So that actually makes sense. Okay, so these baits are supposed to be the trailers for this jig. So this is like one bait right here. We're gonna put the blue baby Googan Squad bandito bugs on the back of this jig. And that's our first bait right there. Let's see, what we got? We got a fanny pack. I'm not sure how we're supposed to catch fish with this, but we have a fanny pack. Nice, nice. Let's put it on. It fits perfectly. Let's go. A junior scout. Essentially, this is a jerkbait. This is a smaller jerkbait, which is perfect. I don't see how this is gonna catch BIGGUNS. The jig setup, yeah, that one's gonna catch BIGGUNS. This one, however, I see catching some little fish. So, you know, we want BIGGUNS today. Like we don't want little fish baits, but you know, this is a good bait. We're gonna definitely catch fish on this bait. Okay, sweet. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. Oh
my gosh.
Look at this guy. We got a poppin' filthy frog. This is perfect for out here. Like, it's glass calm. You know, literally as we're sitting here doing this, like I can see fish just blowing up on bait, like they're feeding right now. There's a lot of bait out here. This is gonna catch some fish. Is it gonna catch some BIGGUNS? I don't know. I hope it catches some BIGGUNS. I'm sure it will catch some BIGGUNS, but we gotta get around some BIGGUNS, if you know what I mean. Okay, next bait. Oh my gosh, look at that thing. Look at that thing. That thing is massive. This is a grande banger. It's essentially just a square bill, but it's a huge square bill. Like, this thing is massive. How deep does this thing go? 3 to 7 foot. Oh my gosh. We're sitting in 4 foot of water right now, which is like, you know, a good average depth. But, you know, I can't really throw this thing where we're sitting at the moment. Like, this thing is huge. Interesting. I like the color. Literally, this is a bluegill color. This is a super saucy bluegill color. It sucks because I think they're feeding on shad possibly right now. They might not. They might be feeding on bluegill, but we just got to get around some bluegill. We got to get around some bluegill beds. We got to find some where a lot of bluegill are at, because if we can find big schools of bluegill, there will be bass that are targeting those fish. So this is a perfect bait for that situation. We just have to find some bluegill today. That's the goal. Okay, so the jig, starting out, the jig, which is perfect for this time of day. It's middle of the day. It's super hot. you know, we can fish it slowly, we can flip it. The jig is gonna catch some fish. This bait, however, this is gonna be a bait we wanna be throwing when they're feeding, so maybe later in the day, the evening, or the morning bite. We kinda missed the morning bite today, but the evening bite, when they start schooling up, this jerk bait is definitely gonna catch some fish, and the frog. So I think what we're gonna do so far, I think there's a couple more baits left, but what we're gonna start out with is the jig and the frog, because those are the two baits right now that I would be throwing for this like type of day environment. Like, you wanna be throwing slower stuff because it is middle of the day, it's brutal, it's very, very hot out here. So, you know, these fish are gonna, you know, be a little bit more like slow. They're not gonna be feeding super aggressively. I could throw this bait, but I'd have to just slow burn it, just slowly reel it through the water. You can't be burning this thing super quick because, you know, I don't think this time of day the bass are gonna be super aggressive in attacking like some moving baits super quick. So the frog and the jig is what we're gonna be starting out with. These two baits later in the day. I think, let's see how many baits we got left. I think we got 2 left, maybe 3. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is what I was worried about getting. A deep diving crankbait. I was super worried about getting this bait because this lake is not a lake where you can catch them like that. Like, this lake doesn't really set up that way when there's a lot of hydrilla in this lake. When there's zero hydrilla in this lake, this is pretty much the only thing you can catch them on. But all the fish right now, like when hydrilla grows up in a lake or a pond, it just like absorbs all the fish because it's producing clean water, it's filtering the water, it's like literally just absorbing all the bait and the bass into one area. So that is gonna be the tricky part with this bait right here. This bait is 8 to 12 foot, so we can literally only fish this bait in 8 to 12 foot. What happened there? Don't you blow out of the boat. I need you for the thumbnail. Anyways, it is a big fish bait. Like, this is a big fish bait. The jig is a big fish bait. This is a big fish bait. Not really that bait, but this one is a big fish bait. So we're just gonna have to try to find some fish, which we should be able to find some fish that are scattered on some like shell bars here and there. It'll be interesting to see if we can find some. I do know some areas on this lake that, you know, have super hard bottom and they're shell bars and they hold fish. We'll have to see. With all the hydrilla in this lake, there might not be any fish there. We might have to wait for the evening bite when the fish are schooling up and I'm throwing this in like, you know, 1-2 foot of water, like reeling it close to the top to get a fish on it. But that bait right there, the Recon, the Googan Squad Recon, I've never caught a fish on this bait. I've never thrown this bait. I have one of them. I just have never thrown it because, you know, you got Strike King, you got Rapala, like you got some good companies that, you know, make deep diving crankbaits. I'm not a huge fan of Googan's deep diving crankbait, but last bait, ooh, this is okay. You know, we're okay. It's the mini clutch. I really wish it was the regular size clutch and not in this color. This is just straight red. Maybe if we get around some bluegill that might look like a bluegill. I have no idea. The biggest thing when, you know, fishing new bodies of water and throwing different baits is you really want to, you know, try to mimic what the bait fish looks like. Like this could be considered a little bluegill. This could also be considered a little bluegill. It's a little bit vibrant, and it's a little bit too bright, but you know, we might be able to get away with it being a bluegill. This, however, I don't know, we'll have to see. There are some days where like bass really target like red for some reason. Like I feel like stained water, like that's a good place to be throwing, you know, a red colored bait. But out here, it's super clean. You want to be throwing natural colors like, you know, this bait right here or the jig. This bait, however, this is gonna be another evening bite bait. Is that all we got? Oh, last but not least. Boom, we got the sticker. Gotta throw that sticker in there. Alrighty, so that is it with the box. I look like such a googan. I'm taking the sticker off. I'm sorry, I don't wanna waste the sticker. Where do I put it? I'm wasting the sticker, guys. I'm sorry. What we're gonna start out with, I'm thinking, is the jig. We can swim it around, we can flip it, we can pitch it. That's gonna be a nice slow bait to start out with for today. And the frog. Those two baits are baits I'd be throwing right now. The rest are moving baits, so that is gonna be tough. I'm thinking the only other moving baits we could probably throw are the Junior Scout because we're gonna be fishing a little bit more shallower water anyway. So we could put on the Junior Scout and kind of like throw it around some docks or some cover. And literally what we're gonna do is, because it's just dead calm, the bass are super slow right now, is we're just gonna throw it out there. And if y'all know how a jerkbait works, it's gonna like have super erratic action going through the water, and it's gonna suspend in the water. So it's gonna suspend in the water column. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop it, it's gonna go poof, 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 like a fluke, essentially. And then we're just gonna stop it and let it sit. And it's just gonna go like, have super erratic action. It's gonna be like darting from places, and then it's just gonna sit there. We're just gonna let it sit. And if bass are looking at it, and you know, they're kind of slow, like they should eat it if we work it like that and we're not like super aggressive with it and we're like, you know, really working it. I don't think we're gonna get a bite doing that today. We're gonna definitely try it, but I'm thinking just giving it a couple pops and letting it sit is gonna crush them. So all the moving baits kind of threw me for a loop today because as you can see, it's dead calm, it's glass calm, there's zero wind, it's 100 degrees out. Not the ideal baits for throwing in Florida, but we'll have to see. Like if not, we'll just come out to a pond and we'll get some big fish on these baits. So that is the goal, to catch at least one big fish from the Googan Squad Mondo BIGGUNS box. Let's get started. So we're just gonna start out by tying up the mini clutch. That's what we're gonna start out with. I hate they put this annoying tape on both sides of the packages. It's like you go to grab it and you're like, oh my gosh, and you go to open it and then there's just tape there, so you gotta use scissors. So it's not as like satisfying as like just ripping it open with your bare hands. Here we go, look at this guy. So small and cute, little tiny little bait for a tiny little setup. First setup, all ready to go. I've thrown these guys before. I'm not a huge fan of it because it broke, and that's another reason I wasn't a huge fan of the Filthy Frog, because it also broke. The body of it like just completely just cracked on one of the little jerk baits I've had from Googan. And the Filthy Frog, the tails just like completely fell apart on me. So yeah, Googan, gotta get your quality up a tiny bit. This should be interesting. This should be interesting. This is the color we got going on here. It's kind of saucy. So yo, we got everything tied up except for the Grande banger. I'm gonna save that for a different rod. I don't really have a rod to put that on right now, but we have the jig. I think we're gonna try to catch a fish on the jig starting off. And I'm trying to figure out if we can throw this in open water or it's mainly gonna be a flipping jig, which would kind of suck because this whole lake is pretty much grass. I wish we actually got a swim jig in the box. That would have been way better, but this guy is like super heavy. It's getting stuck on all the grass down there. Like it's kind of a tough jig to fish with. So I'm thinking what we might have to do is docks. I'm thinking we could catch some fish on some docks by throwing this guy. You know, we got the crankbaits tied up, we got the frog. It's gonna be brutal today, so stay tuned. We're gonna catch fish on these baits eventually. No way, got it, right at the boat, Stay on, let's go! Oh my gosh, choked it! Look at that, oh my gosh, he like attacked this bait. Look at that, absolutely choked it. I was so like unprepared because I was like so over this area. I've been fishing this area for like an hour and I was like, oh, this sucks so bad. And like we come out to a little bit deeper water, like there's literally a line where we're at right now, just like hydrilla line basically. And oh dang, he choked that. Look at that, y'all. Woo! Solid fish. Look at that, first fish of the day on the Grande banger, I think. Like it just giant bait. This guy absolutely crushed this bait. Check that out. He literally had it all the way down his throat like that. It was insane. Like I was like, what's going on? Because I was reeling it in and it kind of like bumped into some grass is what I thought. I thought it bumped into some grass and I look down and I just see something flash and I'm like, what's going on? It was like right there at the boat. So crazy. I'm gonna throw this bait around a little bit more, see if we can get another big bite, because what must have happened is this guy was sitting out here in like, you know, some deeper water. It's about 8-9 foot and this bait goes 7 foot. So he probably saw this bait go over his head and he like followed it all the way back to the boat. And as soon as it got up, like it was coming up from that deeper water, like I was pulling it up. So it was coming up from that deeper water and he was like chasing it, trying to get it. And look at that, awesome first fish of the day. Let's go, I'm gonna give him a little release right here. Look at that, boom. Let's go. Okay, so that's a pretty decent sized fish. It's like a 3-pounder, start off the day. Super cool. Like, you know, big baits catch big fish. This is a ginormous squarebill. I'm so glad I got him. Like, that was so insane. I was just kind of like, oh my gosh, and just like flipping him in the boat. It was so funny. It was like, I was just not even ready for it. This heat is taking all my energy. Oh my gosh. Florida is really cool, y'all. If you're in Florida or you're not in Florida, I mean, it's a cool state, but man, oh man, summertime is brutal. Like, I pulled up to the boat ramp at like noon and there was one truck and trailer here. And this lake is loaded with fish and the fishing's so good right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to an area where we can catch fish, possibly catch fish on the deep diving crankbait and the jig. And I have another area where the fish should start to school up right before this rain hits, and it should get really good, hopefully. I hope so, because if it doesn't, then we're definitely not gonna finish this challenge. And yeah, that's the game plan. We're gonna go hit some deeper water stuff. Alrighty, we are now in an area where I can throw this deep diving crankbait, supposedly. So let's see here. This little canal kind of drops off, so there shouldn't really be too much grass. I feel like we got, oh yeah, look at that, look at that. Oh yeah, this is like such an awesome bait for this lake. Oh my gosh, let's go, we got a fish on the crankbait. Please stay on, 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 please don't come off, please don't come off, please no, oh my gosh, stay on, stay on, stay on, stay on, stay on. Let's, no, oh my gosh, let's go. Oh, thank goodness, y'all. Whoo. Oh my gosh, I was so worried this fish was gonna come off. I'm so happy we got one on this crankbait, y'all, because I'm telling you, this whole lake is all grass. Like, literally, there's grass there, there's grass here. Like, there is not a single spot in this lake that I've been able to find. I've been to 4 spots, 4 different areas where there normally is not grass, and there was just grass everywhere. Oh, we got probably the hardest bait. I'm telling you, this was the hardest bait for this lake to catch a fish on, and we did it. It's not a bad one too. He's like £1.5-er. Let's freaking go. Like, look at this. You see literally like a foot away from the boat. Less than a foot. Like, we're sitting over top of it right here. Insane. Thank you so much, fish. Thank you so much. I'll make one more cast in there just to see if it was a fluke or not, because there could be a whole school of them sitting there, and I'm freaking out over one little guy. And meanwhile, there's like 20 fish there. So that was like, I'm telling you, instant. As soon as I started winding it, he was like, bing, bing, bing. Which sucks because it's not really how you're supposed to fish this bait. You're supposed to be, you know, grinding it on the bottom. But I'm so happy we caught a fish on that crankbait. That was insane. That was, okay, so that's my first fish on the Recon, or essentially the round bill version. Googan Squad's baits. And I think they make a mini one of these, and then they make like a micro one of these, and then they also make a huge, they make a much bigger version than this as well. So I think they have 4 sizes in this crankbait, and I kind of wish we got the mini, because it would have been a little bit better for what we're doing, but I'm freaking stoked we caught a fish. Probably the two of the, I don't know, this is probably the hardest bait, this and maybe the jig. I don't really know yet. I'll have to kind of figure out. The jig might be a hard bait, but I feel like these two guys were pretty hard baits to catch fish, just because it's just all grass in this lake. So we're gonna get out of here, go to a different area, and try to get the rattle trap, the jerk bait, the frog, and the jig done all in the same area. I'm hoping these fish turn on. If they turn on, they start feeding, we should be able to get some really awesome fish on these baits. We'll just have to see. And let me know if you want to see a future video on Googan Squad's version of, like, you know, a deep diving crankbait. I love Strike King's deep diving crankbaits, but I just need to start throwing them more. I really need some more experience throwing these baits, but I'm super intrigued by Googan Squad's version of it, because it seems like a decent bait. Like, I caught a fish on it in the first, like, you know, 5 casts here, so pretty cool. Caught a fish. I'm kind of skeptical about the crankbaits though, because I feel like the crankbaits are made, like, the quality of them isn't very good. Like the clutch here, I'm not a huge fan of the quality of that one. and also the banger. I'm not a huge fan of the quality on that. It just feels really cheap. Where this guy feels like a really quality deep diving crankbait. So I don't know. Let me know if you want to see some future videos on that, comparing Googan Squad's hard baits, because like putting them up against Strike King and some other brands and seeing which one really comes out on top, and which one, like, shines brighter than the other, I guess. I don't know. But wind's picking up, which is good for us, because we're about to get going, and we need all the momentum that way we can, because I'm just kidding. I don't really, and not I'm not hoping that the wind blows with us as we drive across the lake. I could care less about that. It's mainly the bite. I'm hoping the bite turns on because of this wind. So we will have to see, but I'm ready to catch them. We're in a beautiful area, loaded with fish. It's luscious hydrilla, clean water. Throwing the jig. I'm just gonna call these things by their actual names and not the Googan names, because it's called the thick flippin' jig. I'm not gonna say that. I'm just gonna say the jig. Swimming it, because this hydrilla is super tough to flip, and it's also super windy, and looks like that over there. So that's not good. But this area should be pretty good. We should be able to catch a giant on a frog over here, and quite possibly, catch fish and all the rest of the baits, and get a bag. That is gonna be the goal, is catching a monster bag on those baits right out in here. Got him, oh my gosh, yo, oh my gosh, that was a horrible hook set. Oh, what happened? Oh no, my GoPro turned off. Oh, no, he's still on. Oh, what happened? My GoPro literally just shut off, y'all. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. That's a good one. Oh my gosh. Come on, GoPro, turn back on, please. Stay on. He's definitely still on. Oh my gosh, y'all. Oh, that was like such a funny hook set. My GoPro, oh, stay on. Oh my gosh. Woo! Let's go. Oh my gosh. Oh, what a fat fish. Oh my gosh, y'all. It's been another hour. It's literally been another hour. Like, we had this kind of front coming through, and I'm not sure if it's shutting them off, but we just caught one on the frog. That was such a violent blow up, and like I barely got that hook set. I literally took my other hand and like ripped the rod, like trying to get like more pressure on it, but like look at how fat this fish is. And then my GoPro turned off like mid fish fight. Oh, so annoying. I hope it got that, because that blow up was insane, y'all. Look at this. Whoo! Another 2-pounder, decent fish. Man, the froggy got it done. A way smaller fish than I thought would have, bit the frog, but still, holy crap. Like, I'm hearing an insane amount of bluegill and stuff blowing up in these mats. And, I started way out there, as y'all know, and like I've been working up here nice and slowly, and it's been a grind trying to figure out what these fish are doing. But, it makes sense. There's like these kind of scattered mats. They're super open, so it's pretty much just a canopy right here. And the fish are sitting underneath them, eating bluegill and bait. Baiters getting pushed by the hydrilla line right there. So it makes sense the bass are sitting underneath that stuff. But it surprises me that, they weren't up that way as well. So that's super interesting. I hear just an insane amount of bluegill just like popping up underneath all these mats and stuff. So that's a good sign. That was such a good fish, and I'm so addicted to that frog blow up. Like, I just literally want to fish this frog like the rest of the day. Oh my gosh, that was a giant. Oh my gosh, y'all, that was such a big fish. That was such a big fish. Oh my gosh, y'all, that was like 4 or 5 pounder easily. Oh, please come back for it. Oh my gosh. That was such a big fish. Y'all, you have no idea. That was a giant. Oh, I got carried away. I should not have done that. I should have let it sit there. Oh my gosh. Such a big fish. Oh well. So, we're gonna put up the frog. Sad day. Sad day. We're gonna come back to it though. Don't worry. We're gonna come back to it. We just gotta catch fish on this jig and this, you know, these others, other freaking baits. Just gotta catch some fish on those guys, and then we will have the challenge complete. And it would be awesome to come back and catch like a giant on a frog. I want to catch another one on a frog so bad because it's so much fun. There you go, that's a fish. Got him! Got him! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! On the jig! Let's freaking go. Oh my gosh. Okay, y'all, I will say this. I absolutely hate this jig. I hate it. Like, I just absolutely hate it. Strike King doesn't make the best jig ever, but their jigs are way better than this one. Like, I'm sorry. Like, they were selling this for $1 on Carl's. Oh man, I just had to roast them right there real quick because I absolutely hate that jig, despise it. Did not think I was gonna catch a fish on it. Let's go. Oh my gosh. Let's go. So that means we have caught a fish on this jig and the junior bandito bug. That was super cool. Let me not drift into the really good grass that is holding bass right now. Let me not do that. This is like the same little stretch where I had that frogfish. Like, I'm telling y'all, when there is this much hydrilla, they will get in these small little areas and they will be there so thick, y'all, it's crazy. So finally got one on the jig. That was such a crazy bite because I was like popping it. I was popping it through the hydrilla. Like, there was like a hole in the hydrilla. I pitched it in there. I started popping it through there. And as I'm bringing it all the way up, I'm like, whoop, and then the fish went thunk, and I was like, oh my gosh, trying to reel up to it. Like, I had to make sure he was still there because I literally felt him on the end of my line, and I was like, oh no, like, this fish definitely felt some pressure. I'm really surprised he held on to it, like shocked he held on to it. I for sure thought I was gonna miss that fish, and if I missed that fish, I would have been like so like destroyed because this jig, I've been throwing so much today and I absolutely hate it. Like, as you can see, like, I trimmed it up like crazy. It used to be like all the way, it used to be super long. I trimmed the skirt up and the skirt is absolutely garbage. It's like they're all getting stuck to each other. It is just terrible. I hate this jig so much. Googan, their swim jig though, their swim jig is fire. I really like their swim jig. It looks amazing, has really good action. This jig, however, feels super cheap and I absolutely hate it. So glad we were done with that one. Glad we are done with that one. These two guys, however, are gonna be tough. Oh, there we go, let's go. Fish on, let's go. Let's go. Oh my gosh, stay on. Please don't come off, These hooks are so tiny, please stay on. No, he's got me in the grass. No, stay on, he's got me in the grass. Please stay on. I know you're not this big, please stay on. Oh, did he get off? Oh, no, he got off. No, did he get off? Oh, he's still on. Get in there, oh my gosh. It's been another couple of hours and we finally caught a fish. One little hook, that's literally all he had. One little hook, this ugly little rattle trap. I hate this thing. Like, oh my gosh. I'm sorry the back camera was off this whole time, but we got ourselves another little fish. We just need one fish on the jerkbait and then we can start working on a bag. Let's go. Let's go. I just want to throw the frog. That's all I want to do is throw the frog. So bad. I'm so glad this bait is done. This was probably, with the last 2 baits I had, I was throwing this one because I'm like, this one is like, it's red. I don't know if they're gonna eat it, but I was absolutely just burning it. And what happened was I was just in some hydrilla, I was burning it, and I was like ripping it through the hydrilla, and he probably just hit it out of a reaction for it. So let's go. Let's go. I'm so stoked. Oh my gosh. We have 1 more bait left, guys. 1 more bait left, and we have this challenge complete. But I just want to catch some big fish. That's the goal. We got to catch ourselves some giants. Oh my gosh, y'all. That's a good fish. That's a good fish. Please stay on. Please stay on. Please stay on. Let's go. Let's go. Oh my gosh, stay on. Stay on. Let's go. Challenge complete, baby. Okay. Enough flexing. Enough flexing. We did it. We did the whole box challenge slam. Oh my gosh. Let's freaking go. A chunky fish. Chunky fish. Is he a biggin? He is not a biggin. Not a biggin. Oh my gosh. I literally just missed one too. Like, I got in this little area and I like literally saw a flash of like a fish just missing my bait. And boom, look at that. Another chunky fish. Whoo! Let's go. So, weight wise, we have probably 10 pounds with our 5 biggest. Not very good. So we gotta step it up. Put down these tiny little baits and let's start catching us some biggins, like some real biggins. But I will make 1 more cast just to show you all they're probably stacked right there. Most likely and definitely probably stacked right in this little spot. It was like I literally missed one about 5 foot over this way. Came up a little bit further, put the power poles down. Instant fish. So, oh, we did it, y'all. We did it. Let's see. Let's put you over here. This is the only rod we're gonna need to catch our big bag. Right here, baby. Alrighty. It is time to catch some biggins. Oh my gosh. Y'all, this is where oh my gosh, they're boiling right there. Y'all, this is where the big fish have moved in. I was wondering what happened to them. Like just giant bluegill up in here, like I can hear them. Oh my gosh. Oh, dang it, y'all, that was insane. They're in there thick. Literally
the fish followed it all the way from there because I saw some fish busting over in there. I threw it in there. I missed him like 3 times. I got him all the way to here. He blew up right in front of my face. And I had 2 fish. One blew up on my frog, the other one blew up on my line. Oh. Normally those are, y'all, gosh dang it. Normally that's a giant fish when they just swirl on it like that. Like there wasn't even a blow up. Like he was just there. Come on. Like we literally have a couple minutes left and it's gonna get dark. Like he swirled on it, didn't get it, and then he came up and just kind of popped it, sucked it up. Didn't get it. I should have waited and let him have it a little bit longer because he definitely didn't have it. That sucks. Normally that's a big fish that does that.
Well, y'all, that is gonna wrap it up for today's video. We missed a giant. We missed a lot of frogfish, like towards the end there. Like we literally missed the one just now that you just saw like 2 minutes ago. We missed like 3 fish back to back to back, blowing up on it, missing it, blowing up on it, missing it. Ah, man, it's so disheartening. But I mean, we did get the challenge done. That's all I care about. We got the challenge done. We didn't catch any biggins on the biggins box. Kind of disappointing. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Please consider subscribing if you made it to the end and you're watching this right now and you're not subscribed. Hit the subscribe button and the bell right next to it. I'd appreciate that so much. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Drop a comment down below. And that is going to wrap it up for today's episode of Tyler's Fish Post. I'll see y'all in the episode. I'll see y'all on the next one. I just said an episode of Tyler's Fish Post and then I was about to say it again. That's kind of weird. I'll see y'all again. Goodbye.